made it through and are still together. The Thompsons have a transgender teen. Annie was open and understanding, but Jack shut down, got angry, and wouldn't talk about it. No problem. There they are, holding hands and taking nighttime walks together. Most of us have heard the term widowmaker in reference to a deadly heart attack. A widowmaker can occur when the major descending artery that serves as a pipeline to the heart gets blocked and the heart stops beating. The way for cardiology patients to avoid a widowmaker is to have a bypass procedure to get the blood flowing around the blockage. Working through a traumatic injury to a relationship seems to require the same sense of urgency, the same need to find a way to bypass the issue, fix it, and move on. The two of us thought a lot about these couples and their relationships. We wondered about all those questions and how it was that some people were able to avoid the relationship widowmaker and successfully navigate that bypass. Then we went out and did what we like to do. We talked to people. We were often saddened by the stories, but at the same time uplifted by their tenacity and courage. There also turned out to be an unexpected consequence of the many hours of conversations. They turned out to be a two-way street. Julie and I got much of what we were looking for, some insight into how these couples made it through, their relationships damaged and listing in some cases, but still afloat. And for those who shared their stories, it was often cathartic, a deep breath released. They felt better after opening up, letting it out, and telling their story. There is pain in these chapters, plenty of it. At the same time, though, there is also resilience and determination. There is loyalty and courage. There is love. It is our hope that you will find comfort in these stories and experiences, and the strength to push your relationship forward, even in the toughest of times. Julie and David. Chapter 2. Surviving When Your Child and Grandchild Don't. Maggie and Glenn sat closely on the love seat, their hands clasped tightly together. This was a familiar position for them. We keep close when we talk about Lisa and her baby, Glenn explained. Lisa was their youngest daughter. She and her unborn child were brutally murdered by Lisa's boyfriend. Looking at Maggie, Glenn smiled. We have always connected through our faith. That was part of what first attracted me. It sounds corny, but it really was love at first sight, he recounted. The middle of three girls, Maggie was born overseas and raised in a military family. We spent a lot of time at missions with kids who did not have both of their parents, who were poor, Maggie said. My parents had a deep faith and dedication to each other. They were married for over 60 years. I learned a lot from them. The couple met when Maggie was in nursing school, having been introduced by one of Glenn's previous girlfriends. I did not know if he would be interested in me, Maggie remembered. He was so confident, smart, good-looking. We had a lot in common, Glenn said. Both of us had traveled extensively when we were young, and, as I said, we each had a strong faith in Jesus. Maggie is much shyer and more reserved than I am. I tend to be more outgoing and more of a talker. He is very self-confident and can have a commanding presence, Maggie said. Maggie became quite sick during her first pregnancy and was prescribed medication that they later learned could cause birth defects. When Jessica was born, the first thing Glenn did was count all her fingers and toes, Maggie recollected. He told me that she was okay. Raising a baby was a joy to both of us, and I loved being a dad, Glenn said. But I did not want to have another until we could get Jessica trained and out of diapers. Jessica